So let me start off by saying that I actually enjoyed both Suicide Squad and Rogue One.
Probably because I'm a massive nerdy fanboy.
But that doesn't mean that both those movies aren't really dumb. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized they're actually dumb in the exact same way.
What? Rogue One was the best Star Wars movie since Empire Strikes Back!
Nope, you're wrong. And here's five reasons why Rogue One is just as dumb as Suicide Squad. 1. The plot. So let me tell you the plot of one of these movies. There's a massive evil superweapon out there, and a ragtag group of characters has to get together to stop it. These characters are all kind of morally gray, but you're supposed to like them by the end, even though you don't get to spend that much time with them. And even though they're successful at the end and the superweapon is stopped, it comes at a great cost, and the fight isn't even over. But next time the fight happens, it won't be these characters who do it, it'll be characters we know and love who fight against this great evil. Oh wait, that's actually the plot of both these movies. I mean, even the endings are similar. In Rogue One, some rebel guy hands Leia the files with the Death Star plans on them, and we hear epic music. And then, in Suicide Squad, Amanda Waller hands Bruce Wayne a file with the Justice League locations in them, and we hear epic music. Roll credits! Number 2. The characters. So both these movies have a female lead who's got a criminal checkered past, and who's only really in it for herself. But about halfway through the movie, she suffers a deep personal loss. And just like that, she becomes ready to save the world and be a good guy. Then there's the trigger-happy rogue, who eventually becomes slightly less trigger-happy for reasons that aren't exactly ever made clear. A religious guy who does something totally badass before dying. A tank character who tanks. A comic relief guy, and nothing he ever does makes sense, but it's funny, so I guess we give him a pass. And a character who has a deep connection with the bad guys and wants to redeem himself by fixing the mistakes of his past. It's like this was actually written as just one script, and then the writer was like, you know what? I can slightly tweak this to be Star Wars and give it to Disney, and slightly tweak this to be DC and give it to Warner Brothers, and I'll make double the money. That's actually really clever. Note to self, sell same script twice to 2 different companies. I'm using my phone to record this video, so this is a PlayStation controller. 3. There's a really awesome scene with a famous character who does absolutely nothing else of value in the movie. Rogue One was just more clever than Suicide Squad because they put their badass Vader scene at the end of the movie. Suicide Squad had that awesome Batman scene where he's taking down the Joker and Harley Quinn, but it's at the beginning of the movie, so by the time it ends, you've forgotten about it. Imagine if they put an awesome Batman scene where he's rounding up all the members of the Suicide Squad at the end of the movie. Then, like with Rogue One, all the reviews would have ignored all the glaring problems because the ending was just so cool. 4. The characters just change motivations whenever the plot needs them to. I kinda touched on this before, but in both movies, the characters kinda just change who they are and what they believe in because the plot kind of needs them to, without any other reason. Like, in Rogue One, why do 2 temple guards who meet Jyn Erso one morning decide that if within the next 24 hours they're willing to join her on a suicide mission that she didn't even want to go on for most of the movie? And why, when Rick Flag tells the Suicide Squad they're free to go, does Captain Boomerang take everything he owns, including the beers, out the bar and run out the door, but then come back 2 seconds later with no explanation? I mean, at no point in the movie has he built a relationship with any of the other characters. Anyway, what I'm saying is nothing any of the characters do in both these movies makes sense. They just do stuff because the whiteboard the writers had this whole bullet pointed out on told them they had to. 5. Their endings are super predictable. Like I said before, both these movies are setup movies. We know Suicide Squad is setting up Justice League, and we know Rogue One is setting up A New Hope. So when you do go in to see them, you have a pretty good idea of how both of these are going to end. We know that some of the members of the Suicide Squad are going to die, but the rest of them will end up back in jail. Because if they all became heroes, you wouldn't need the Justice League in the next movie. But you also know that they're probably not going to kill off Margot Robbie or Will Smith. Because sequels! I'm gonna have to pick all that stuff up. Not a great idea. And Rogue One is even easier. None of the characters in the movie are in A New Hope. Therefore, you know they're probably all going to die. And their deaths all happen so comically close to each other that it literally feels like someone's just ticking their names off a list. 2, 3, dead. 1, 2, 3, dead. 1, 2, 3, dead. Everyone's dead! So that's it. Like I said, I enjoyed both these movies anyway because I'm a big nerd who's easily manipulated by marketing and merchandise.
Isn't that right, Mr. Arrow?
But feel free to leave me your hate and anger in the comments.
It feeds my empty soul.
Stupid bit. Wasn't even that funny.